in a fearful, avoidant mind, for anybody that's on here, we think we're being clear. We think we're being open.
Yeah.
We think we're being emotional. It does not come across to the other person. Like
No.
I
Yeah.
might in my head really, really like you. And I might in my spirit be thinking about you all the time. But nothing about what I'm showing you, if I
Showing
don't
you.
feel the security in that situation, nothing about what I'm showing you is going to communicate that.
Yeah.
I have to feel safe for me to show you that. That's just how I like, that's just what it is. There's got to be a sense of safety for me emotionally before I show you that. And so I think that over time, to your point, when you said the fish thing, this is where I have to challenge that just a little
Challenge
bit.
it.
Just
Go
I
for
got
it.
to challenge it just a little bit.
Go
The
for it.
Bible says, above all things, guard your heart, for out of it flows the rivers of life. So for me, I don't think that everybody is deserving of all aspects of your vulnerability in yourself.
That's fair.
Do I think everybody is deserving of the truth? Yes. I don't think that you should have to lie to nobody about anything. I think that the truth is the most honest, the most beautiful thing that you could give somebody. I think it's super attractive when a man tell me the truth. Honestly, I don't know why men lie to women, because if you tell a woman, I don't care what your truth is, hey, you know what? I don't want a relationship right now. Oh my God, he told me the truth, girl. You know, men don't be telling the truth no more. I might just talk to him anyway because he told me the truth. You know,
That's very true.
that's just how we are. We like the truth. If you stand in your truth, I think everybody is deserving of the truth. I don't necessarily think everybody is deserving of your vulnerability in the innermost workings of your mind and your soul and your spirit. Because I think that today's world and today's climate is not safe. I don't believe it is. Because I think that the social media climate that we live in, I also think that, as I stated before, the way that the enemy is running amok in our culture, I don't think that our emotions and our vulnerability is safe. I don't think it's safe. However,
That's fair.
I think that there's a certain level of honesty that we're lacking. This is where I would agree with you. I don't think, I was watching a video about this, and I think it's kind of an interesting topic. The difference between settling and being realistic. Look, don't pull down the glasses now. Don't pull down the glasses. And this is a woman speaking.
Yes.
Okay, and I thought it was interesting, so I was listening to what she had to say. And she said the difference between being settling and being realistic is, she was talking about honesty, and that people lack being honest with themselves. And if we were really being honest with ourselves and being honest about who we are, what we come with, all encompassing, that if we really took a full assessment of that and what we could realistically attract, she's like, then that's being realistic. But what she was saying was, and she's like, settling is when you know that you can do better. Like, you know all that you have, you know all that you're dealing with, or what you come with, you know your value and things like that. And you are knowingly compromising things that you need to be in a relationship with somebody. But when you are not being realistic is when you're not being honest with yourself. And so what I would say is that what I'm seeing a lot more in society, also not vulnerability, is a lack of honesty, not just with everybody else, because we got this big bad wolf persona that we put on the social media waves and make it seem like we just got it all together, and we just the baddest things moving, we just smart, we just spiritual, we just rich, we just this, we just that, we just got it all together. This person that we've created, it doesn't help us accept ourselves. Yep. Right? And so then we go into this dating process, and we haven't really accepted ourselves, because now we put on this show for other people to accept this version of ourselves. And so now we have this catfishing thing going on. We got filters going on. We got all different kinds of stuff going on, to where it's even harder for us to accept who we are naturally, who we've been created to be. So it's like everything about us makes it hard for us to accept us and be honest with ourselves honestly. And so I think
That,
that that's more of where I would say people need to do more work is being honest with ourselves and accepting ourselves versus being vulnerable, because I think vulnerability, I don't want to be vulnerable with somebody who ain't my man.
I understand that.
You know
There's
what I'm
there's
saying?
levels to vulnerability, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
true. I get that, and that's fair because I've been a level of vulnerable here on this live with you. So I can't, and I'm vulnerable on my social medias. So I can't say, I can't say, I can't say that I'm not vulnerable. But there's certain levels
There's
of
depths.
vulnerability should
There's
be
depths.
reserved
Yeah.
for certain things.
But like what you just described, right? When you said about honesty, that's emotional safety. It comes all underneath the bracket of emotional safety. So we've got talking to yourself about very difficult emotions. You've got risks. How do you deal with mistakes? How do you talk to yourself? We've got honesty with oneself. We've got how do you deal with when you don't belong in a crowd? How do you talk to yourself? We've got
Right.
how do you connect with little details, etc. Right? There's a whole bunch of things that come underneath emotional safety. So yes, being honest is one of those big things in terms of being able to be free. And I think adding on to what you're saying is the reason why I mentioned the fish is because when we're not confident in being vulnerable with ourselves, honest with ourselves, being able to have compassion yet also have accountability, when we're not doing that with our actual self, you are going to struggle doing that with other people. Because what you practice at home is what you do outside. What you practice in
Mm,
the training ground is what you do on the actual field. And so a lot of times, if you look at what you can't do amongst people, what you can't do in a relationship, it's because you
mm,
can't do it alone.
we can't
So
do
if you realize you can't open up to somebody, it's the reality of the situation is you're not comfortable doing that with yourself.
that.
Whatever you accept in yourself becomes beautiful, but whatever you reject becomes ugly. And so a lot of times when we accept who we actually are, and there are parts of us that we still haven't accepted. Like when I talk to clients a lot of times, I talk about having a room inside of your mind when it comes to certain things, when it comes to your emotions, right? And we
Yeah.
have a room at the back of the house where all our emotions are stored. And we go in there and there's a mess in the back. And we're like, I don't even know where to start. In fact, close the door. It's even messy in there. Close the door. We'll do that another time. And so what you realize is that's actually how you show up in a relationship. You show up compartmentalizing. And so it's what you do with self and how you treat yourself. How do you deal with you? Are you honest about how you feel? For instance, we talked about anger. Fine. Okay, let's say we're really good at anger. But how do we deal with sadness? How do we deal with fear? Because a lot of times our anger is actually masking the fear. We actually feel fearful, but anger is a more safer emotion, as you said, that masks things. And so I can show up angry, but really and truly, I'm afraid. So if you can't then be honest with yourself that you actually feel afraid, but it's like, no, I'm just angry. But are you really angry, or is that's the primary emotion? But what's really underneath that? Right? What's on the layers of that? Have you been able to be vulnerable with yourself to be able to say, you know what, I actually do feel a bit afraid. Like this year especially, I've had that, right? I've had a conversation with a few friends, and one of the biggest things that I've dealt with is being vulnerable and being
Mm,
honest about how I feel. Right? I
mhm.
don't like talking about how I feel when I'm not really sure where I go on, when I, like you said, when it's not necessarily 100% safe. Here's what I learned: the environment's never been safe. Really and truly, the environment's never been safe. First and foremost, my environment's not safe. My own environment's not safe. You see, that's what I said about the fish. Whatever your listen, Samantha, if I put you in Ghana right now, you could do the show in Ghana. If I put Samantha in Argentina, Samantha going to do what Samantha do. If I put Samantha in UK, Samantha's going to do what she's going to do because she's confident about what she's able to do. What you're not able to do and you're not confident doing, you won't do. But what you're confident in doing, you will always do. So I know there's a base level for Samantha. So if Samantha is confident in emotional safety with herself, it don't matter where you are. You can be on this big boy internet. There's a level of safety that you have with yourself. This is why you can come on the internet and tell people some level of vulnerability.
Yeah.
There's a level that you will deal with a therapist. There's a level that you deal with friends. Jesus had three. Jesus had the 12, the three, and then the
Three.
one. Right.
Right.
So there are levels to vulnerability of what I'm going to share with you. But
Right.
what Jesus was secure. So it didn't matter if there was the tax collector or the harlot. He can have the conversation. You know what I'm saying to you? He can stand by the well with the Samaritan woman and have a real deep conversation and not feel no way about it. But a lot of us won't be able to do that because we'll start feeling like, I'm showing a bit too much of myself here. And it's like, well, okay, of course, there are certain levels, but what is someone going to do with that information? Oh, they might. What you're really saying is, I don't want to be judged. I'm afraid that your judgment will match what I believe about myself. That's what we're afraid of. We're afraid of that somebody's judgment, someone's behavior will match what you actually believe about yourself. Because whatever you have faith in, not what you believe, whatever you have faith in, you will do. Whatever you believe is only what you accept to be true. That's fine, but it doesn't actually translate to actual behaviors. What you have faith in will what you dictate a behavior. That's what the Bible says. Even the demons believe that God is one. They don't have faith in him. Faith is what pleases God. Faith is what produces the work. So whatever you have faith in, it will naturally produce work. So when you look at your behaviors and you see it does not match what you actually want to do, then you'll realize I may believe this to be true, but I actually don't have faith in it. So my behavior is showing me I don't have faith in that. I can believe it to be true. I believe I'm lovable. Yet your behaviors are showing us you don't have faith in that.
That's good. You are teaching good, sir.
By the grace.
Oh,
By the
you
grace.
are teaching good, sir. Somebody give this man a pass offering. He's teaching good right now.
By the grace.
Because I'm like, wow, you just hit me like 3 different times. He's saying that I can say I believe in God. I can say what he's essentially saying is I can believe in God. I can say I'm a Christian. I can say I believe in Jesus. But if my life in the fruit of my behavior does not align with what I say I believe in, I can say I believe in God, but I don't actually have faith in him because my faith would produce a work. And if my faith is not producing a work, that means I may believe him, but I don't have faith in him. Because if I did, my life would pattern that belief or pattern that faith, should I say. So the reality is some of the things that we say that we have faith about ourselves, where we say we're lovable or we say that we're worthy of this and we can have this type of man and we can, I need me this type of man and this type of woman and this, that, and the third. It's like, no, you're actually settling with this guy. So you really don't believe or you really don't have faith in what you're saying you believe about yourself. Mm-hmm. Because if you did, you wouldn't be with the man you with right now, or you wouldn't be in the relationship you've been in for 10 years, or you wouldn't be dealing with the woman that you've been dealing with for so long on and off, and you know she's toxic. You wouldn't be doing some of the things that you've been doing if you really had faith in the things that you say that you have faith in. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.